Hi everyone, and welcome to another in my occasional series of vlogs, reviews, whatever you want to call it, about different bassy things that I come into contact with. This one is about this, which is the Handbox WB-100 120 watt all tube bass head. Now if you've seen my other video about its big little brother, the R400, this is essentially the same preamp front end bolted onto the all tube power stage. So if you've seen that, a lot of what I'm about to tell you won't be news. Obviously the difference with this one is that 120 watt power stage, which is 4 6L6 tubes. I'm not going to be able to relay what that sounds like in this clip. There's a few little live clips elsewhere on my YouTube channel which will give you a flavour, but nothing can really prepare you for what it feels like to stand in front of a tube head. It's a marvellous thing. As far as volume goes, this amp's only 120 watts, I say only. Don't get me started on the whole Class D thing. This is 120 valve watts. It's probably going to upset people this, but 120 valve watts is a hell of a lot louder than 120 watts Class D watt. I've gigged this in pubs, clubs, on an arena stage, and I've yet to approach running out of volume. It stays clean. If I do want it a bit dirtier, as I have in the past, I've just hit the preamp harder. But when it's clean, or when I need it to be clean, it's there. I guess for most bass players, any worries about it not having enough volume it's a non-issue. It's compact and it's light. It's only 16 kilograms. You can carry it with one hand short distances. It's a two-hand carry for longer distances. It's got convenient side handles. I have no problems carrying it about, and I'm getting on a bit. Beautifully well made, wooden case. It's all, I guess, just high grade steel. It just feels really well made. Well, let's just have a walk through the features on the amp itself. You've got your standard input, no surprises there, followed by a mute switch and your input gain. We have a bright switch, which if I have a look at my notes, I can tell you gives you a 3 dB boost at 100 Hz. It gives you a 3 dB cut at 750 Hz and a 2 dB boost at 10 kilohertz. And you've also, following that, got a drive switch, which gives you a bit more poke at the input stage, which will drive the amp that bit harder. Following that, you've got the EQ section, bass and treble. Where's the mids, you might ask? Well, this is a James tone stack, so you don't need a mid knob. First of all, the amp has got loads of mids as it is. If the bass and treble are set to 12 o'clock, the response curve is essentially flat. I'll show you that now so you can see. If you do need more mids, you just roll the bass and treble back and turn the amp up, and that effectively gives you a mid boost. I can't imagine why you would ever need to do that, but it's there if you need it. If you need a mid cut, you can either boost the bass and treble, which will give you that sort of mid scoop, or you have the Condor Knob, next one along, which will give you, again reading my notes there, they'll give you up to a 12 dB cut at 1 kilohertz. Lots of people will use this knob to get that sort of scooped or slightly scooped sound. To be honest, the amp works for me pretty much flat most of the time, with maybe I'll take a little bit of bass off if it's particularly a boomy room, but usually I just run it flat and it sounds gorgeous, just lets the sound of the bass shine through. Following that, you've got your output gain, your overall volume. Leszek, who is Mr. Handbox, recommends that if you like a clean tone, just run it flat out and use the input gain to control your overall volume. That's what I do, and it just maintains that clarity. After that, we have this feedback switch, which changes the feedback and frequency response, which kind of gives you tonal changes on the fly. Usually I run it at the pop setting, which is, I guess, the sort of the default tightest sound. Sometimes I'll switch it to rock, either for the whole gig or sometimes just for odd songs, which it's kind of hard to explain, but it does just give you that bigger sound, and it is a quick change on the fly. It's very handy. The funk setting is not something I use personally, but I guess the slap guys or the sort of the back pickup honkers will probably really enjoy using that. So that's pretty much all of the sort of the preamp stage. Following that, you've got your DI, which is conveniently located on the front, so that's switchable between pre or post. Pre will keep the sound engineers happy, and you have a 6 dB pad there in case your signal at the desk is too hot, and then obviously you've got your output there. Also on the front you've got your power switch and your standby switch. Now at the moment the logo is glowing red, which means it's in standby. If I switch the standby switch to on, the logo goes green, which means we're ready to go. The back of the amp is really straightforward. You've got your standard power input, you've got your fuse, you've got a effects send and return. You've got two speaker on speaker outs. You've got one for 4 ohm and one for 8 ohm. Just be careful which one you plug it into. Just make sure you always put your 8 ohm cab into your 8 ohm output. And obviously you've got these beautiful 6L6 valves at the back, which are currently nice and warm because the amp's been running a while. There is a fan running in the amp. I don't know whether it comes across in the video, whether you can hear it or not. It's not intrusive at gigs at all. You might be able to hear it in a room like this. At the gig you won't hear it, but obviously that throws all the hot air out the back and brings the cool air in, and it seems to do a really good job. I ran this amp about 8 hours a day for a solid week a little while ago, and it didn't hiccup once. There's no heating issues, overheating issues with it at all.